ठीक है इसका okay. Welcome to you in this morning class or online class. My dear student, today we are going to discuss about the chapter establishment of company rule in India. This is the symbol of British companies' ship and their trade process. Today we are going to discuss about the establishment of company rule in India. Here company rule means British East India rule. British East India is the name of a company that was founded in England in 1600 CE. Why was it established? What role was played by the British in India? We will discuss one by one. But we have to learn something actually about the event that happened before the establishment of company rule in India. I hope that you all know who was Vasco da Gama. Yes, Vasco da Gama was the Portuguese explorer who landed at Calicut in India in 1498. He was the first person in the world who discovered the new sea route to India. And since the day, the direct relation between East and West, I mean direct relation with the Eastern country or Indian with European started. Vasco da Gama came here with a huge quantity of European goods and with their colleagues. He came here, he got success in discovering the new sea route. He sold his brought material in India. He earned profits and he invested his money in buying Indian goods, right? Like spices, indigo, saltpeter, cotton textile, etc. And after returning to Europe, he sold it on large scale. Actually, he sold it on maximum profit and he accumulated huge amount of wealth. When he reached here, by his help, the Portuguese had established a colony in Goa by the 16th century. Colony means a place under the control of a foreign company or power. By the help of the Indian ruler, by seeking order, permission, he set up colony in Goa. And in next century, in 17th century, so many traders, adventurers, missionaries of Europe moved towards India to gain profit, to do the trade and spread religion also. These traders, merchants and adventurers came from England, Spain, France, Holland, etc. Actually, the main aim of their coming was to do the trade and spread religion also. In the age of imperialism in India, the age of imperialism in India began with the weakening and eventually the disintegration of the Mughal Empire. My dear student, I have already discussed The meaning of imperialism. Actually, imperialism means a practice of the extension of power or control or rule of a stronger country over the weaker country. Right? When in England or in Europe, industrial revolution took place, there was extraordinary production in Europe, or in the markets of Europe, in the factories of Europe. There was surplus production. I mean, much more production than the consumption of the concerned countries' people. So there was need to sell the surplus production in other market. In other market means the market of other countries. That is why they began to control other countries and they captured the weaker countries of Asia, Africa, America, etc. And this practice was known as imperialism. And this age began in India also after the disintegration, division, decline of Mughal Empire. You know, Mughal Empire was founded by Babur. And after the death of Aurangzeb, because Aurangzeb is considered the last great Mughal ruler or more influential and powerful ruler of India under Mughal dynasty. After his death, his successors were very weak. They used to struggle or fight against each other. There was lack of unity, and there were so many causes of the downfall of Mughal Empire, and it gave the golden opportunity to the British company to emerge as a political power. When the British came here, they began to seek permission to stay, to trade, and to set up factory in India. And they got success in this regard. Actually, the Mughal Empire became very weak. So many subedars, provincial heads, were there who wanted to be independent ruler because they had no fear of Delhi. The Mughal emperor, because he was too weak to control or to punish such subedar, provincial heads and others. So many states like the state of Bengal, Awadh, Hyderabad, Mysore began to get independence or revolted against the system and declared themselves, the ruler of such states declared themselves as the independent king. Apart from it, there were some other powers, regional powers like Sikh, Marathas, Jats, Rajputs. Also, they began to come out from their influence. They set up their own kingdom because they had no any fear of the central power of Mughal dynasty. And in this way, there were so many states who became free from the control of Mughals. And this stage was set for Europeans to take advantages of the situation. The Europeans like the British, the French, the Spain, Portuguese. Now, they began to take advantages of their infightings, their disunity. So this was the scenario seen before the establishment of British East India Company in India. The political condition was very weak, very miserable. There was no strong central power. Many small kingdoms emerged. Their infightings brought the political disunity, instability, and in the same time, the Europeans also entered in our country. So they wanted to take advantages of this situation and they began to gain the power. Now, let us discuss about the trading companies. No doubt, these company came in India. I think that you know what is the exact meaning of company. Company means group. Actually, British East India Company was a group of British merchants and traders who were the members or the company was allowed by the Queen of England, Elizabeth I. Right? A charter was passed. Charter means an order passed by the legislature of or Parliament of England. I mean, charter means a letter issued by the legislative body of a country. It was an order passed by the Parliament to the company in which company was allowed to trade with the Eastern countries. I mean, Asian countries. So they reached in India also to the trade. When they came, I mean, they traveled, they made a journey, they set for India through the seaway because that route was discovered by Vasco da Gama many years earlier, I mean in 1498. They came and landed on coastal area. And in coastal area, they used to make factories. Here you must have to learn what is the meaning of factories or factory. Factory does not mean like a place where the things are produced by the help of machine like nowadays. Actually, earlier in that period, factory means the place where the factors or officials worked. I mean, this was the place where the Europeans used to come and stay, and they used to stock their trade materials to sell or to load on the ship to go to Europe or to send Europe. This was a factory was a place where factors or officials used to stay. It was a type of building where the officials had the godowns, offices to work. Right? Some of the factories were fortified. I mean, these factories were set up by the British, French, Dutch, Danish, who came from Denmark. They set up the factories by the permission of the concerned, I mean the then Mughal emperor. Later on, they began to fortify their factories. Fortified means to make strong and high to the buildings of the factories. Why they used to make it or fortify it or enlarge it? Only to protect from the rival trading companies. I mean, their opponent trading companies, so that they could not be destroyed, they could not be disturbed. They began to trade. They used to buy spices, cotton textile, indigo, and saltpetre from India at the cheap rates, and they exported it to European country to sell it at high price, and the huge profit margin was obtained by the companies. Actually, it brought a problem among the Europeans. What was the problem? It was a very good thing that they used to get more and more profit. Then how it led to the problem? Actually, each of them wanted to get more and more profits and they want to eradicate or disturb other countries, each other companies, so that they would get the monopoly over trade. Monopoly here means single right. Each of them wanted to be alone in India to gain all the profits. Right? This was the time which gave the advantage to Indian trader and merchants also. Because these things were bought from Indians, it was the great demand made by the Europeans. It is why Indian merchant traders and cultivators have also increased the price. It also evoked the Europeans to root out the existence of other companies. And they wanted to be better than each others, more powerful than each others. As you know, in 1600, British East India Company was formed. The company came in India and the company began to trade in India by the help of the British companies, by the help of Indian rulers, right? In this way, they made some factories, they got relaxation, and they set up factories. Now, they divided their influential areas into 3 parts, and that was called the presidencies. 3 presidencies where they used to do the trade, and actually this area was under the influence of the company. They divided their influential area in India into 3 parts, and that were called Bombay Presidency, Madras Presidency, and Bengal Presidency. Right? And you know, the headquarters of Bengal Presidency was Calcutta, Bombay Presidency, Bombay, and Madras Presidency, Madras. And all these 3 places are located at the seashore or in coastal area. That was easier for them to bring their goods and transport the goods from India to their own countries. In this way, these 3 presidencies were set up and headquarters were made in Bengal, Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay. These presidencies were their settlement, where they had settled. It was the area where they used to do the trade by the permission of the Indian ruler. Right? This was called the presidency. And 3 presidencies were set up in this area. They were Fort William at Bengal, Fort St. George in Madras, and Bombay Castle in Bombay. Right? One castle or fort I am going to show you again. So this was the area who have sat together to take decision. They used to sit in this way and take decision. Now, so these are the pictures which shows about their settlements, presidencies, and company rule. Now, next, you know, this trading company became more powerful in course of time. How they became more powerful, you should point out all these things. First, they set up the friendly relation with the local prince or the local ruler. They used to please them by offering something, by giving gifts, or by requesting them. Second, they used to sign the alliance or treaty to make the alliance with the Indian rulers, or Indian rulers also used to secure some, sign some treaty, or used to make alliance, written compromise with the British ruler or British company to get military help against their rivals, against the opponent Indian rulers. Now, actually, they used to take the help of the British against their powerful enemy, but actually, this help proved very harmful for Indian rulers, because later on they became dependent on the British company soldier, and they lost their original power, own power. And when time came, the British company began to make them as a puppet. Make them dependent on them, and later on they control their power. Now, third action that was taken by the British to secure their power or enlarge their power was divide and rule policy. The divide and rule policy was followed by the British, right, to bring disunity among Indian rulers as well as the people of society. Divide and rule policy means, they applied some techniques, some policies in which he divided people in society on the name of caste, creed, community. Indian rulers were also divided. Some were brought in the favor of the British, some were not brought, and in this way, these two types of group of rulers used to fight against each other, and one by one was captured by the British later on. And in this way, the company began to establish their power or enlarge their power, strengthen their power. In this way, main 3 points are here, which helped the British to set up the presidency settlement and improve the power. First, friendly relation with the local prince. Second, Indian rulers signed the alliances with the British to seek military help. Third, the divide and rule policy led by the British. Now, later on, one important question is, the trading company became an imperial power, political power, controlling power. How was it possible? This is a question of your exercise also. The company who came here to trade, to buy and sell the goods, right? How did such company become an imperial power? There are some reasons. They became real powers because they began to protect their trading interests from other European traders by seeking the help of the Indian rulers. They used to make big forts, or they used to fortify their factories by the help of Indian support or order. Next, the company began to take control, political control over the local ruler. And later on, he controlled entire India, or he became the ruler of whole India. Third, he did a lot of work to gain monopoly, single right on trade in all over India. Fourth, company also conflicted or fought battle against the rulers also, right? And built up military and administrative departments. And last one, the trading company got so much power that it began to behave as an auxiliary government. I mean, a parallel government. And in this way, this company became an imperial power. Now, later on, I will discuss about the Carnatic Wars, but now I have assured you